Well, good evening. Thank you guys for being here at the Lucifer Discord show. The theme for today will be death and the afterlife. And I would like to begin with an interesting quote that says like this: "To the well organized mind, death is but the next great adventure." J.K. Rowling. So let's begin with the first question. What is death? Who wants to begin answering that? What is death? Spectrum?
Oh, yeah, that it's when your meat suit gets rotten, it gets old and it dies. But the energy, like the spirit, still lives on, I believe, and we probably go to a different dimension of some sort. And I know a lot of people say that death is it's terrible, but it's like we don't have that point of view. We don't know, what happens next. So we can't really say if it's bad or good in that regard.
Quantum, what is that?
Well, it's the opposite of life.
That's true. It's kind of a duality, right?
Yeah, kind of like that, light and dark, negative and positive.
That's a strange situation. Death and life, light and darkness. We think, what is death? Any ideas?
Death is life,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you are only born to die, right?
Sure.
So, how do you know that death is not actually life and life is just the stage, a transitory stage until you get to live through death,
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah.
My thinking is this: why will so the universe, in comparison to eternity, to the totality, is but a moment. A universe is just an instant of time in eternity. Why will time, space, energy, the totality of all that is beyond the universe, consider that to introduce death into this physical reality? That's a strange thing to do. Think of all the eternity, all the energy, all that is. Why will such amount of time, such amount of experience decide to do this, to introduce a life where a body lives 75 years, 80 years, and then it dies? It's illogical. Do you have any explanation?
Yeah, because like this world is like the stomach.
Yeah.
Where the stomach you eat food and it makes one energy onto another. So it transmutes the energy. You eat food, it becomes electricity and it goes through your nervous system. And remember, Einstein said that energy cannot be destroyed ever. So anything when your brain fires, there's neurons in your brain, and that's energy. Your nervous system is moved by energy. We're bioelectric beings, and that electricity doesn't go anywhere. So I'm thinking it's sort of like we gather types of energy, because emotional energy is also a type of energy, and it's like we become, like, depending how much of that energy we are able to gather. That depends where we're gonna go. There might be like higher and lower frequencies, but it just depends what frequency and what energy we're gathering. We're one thing becoming another. That's what it is.
So could this temporary life be just a transition to something else?
Yeah, it definitely is that. Because where else is the energy gonna go? The energy of your movement, of your thoughts, of your mind, it's all energy.
Yeah, true.
Because it doesn't make sense to be alive for 80 years and then die. There's no accomplishment in that unless the meaning of life is death, and that is the real life. Perhaps could it be that life, the momentary life we have is an act to awake perhaps into a new or different state of consciousness that permits the afterlife. Could that be the case?
I think it's like here we gather the raw material, like the raw energy. You know, like what we're gonna become. And it's easier to gather the energy here to be able to go. So it's like gas. Like where do you gather gas to go to a different, you know, depending how much gas your vehicle has, that's how high or how much you can transcend or go up these dimensions. That's my thought of it. I think there's like zones, and depending on how much you gather here, you go further.
Yeah. What do you think, what we're talking about?
I think that existence, you know, it's like a sort of Mobius band. You know the Mobius band, right?
No, what is that?
Oh, come on. It's shaped like an infinity
Yeah.
form symbol, and it's a band with two sides, right? But it's a continuous band because and you can walk the both sides a bit, right? So existence is like that. On one side is life, on the other side is death. But basically, they look the same, you know?
Yeah.
So when you're born, you're on the point where you change the sides, you know? And you think that you're actually walking on the side of life. And when you die, you change the sides again. And you think that you're walking on the side of death. But if they look the same, how can you be sure where you are, if you're dead or you're alive? Huh?
Could this place we are inhabiting be actually dead? Could this place be a temporary state of death, and when we die, awake into life? What do you think, Quentin?
You're talking about like a state of existence, like in someone's
imagine that we are
like
dead.
Dream, like that. Like if we're in someone's dream or something like that. Like a.
What if we just die and this is a place where we are hold for a little while until we awake into another life? Could this be a transitory place like that? I mean, that's just a crazy thought, but I mean, this place could be.
It definitely seems like it's a simulation for a higher being. You know, perhaps we're in a lot of simulations, right? And it's all a process of a higher being living all these lives to gather knowledge or energy or something. And then when we die, we actually transition into becoming this higher thing that we don't even know that we are. We know it, we sort of know it, but we don't at the same time.
Yeah. I have a second question for you guys. Let's see what you think. Where were you before you were born? Wiwa?
In another life.
In another planet or universe? Or here?
Does it matter, actually? Because, you know, in order to live, you need to live, experience life, you need a body, right? So, basically, when you die, there is that moment after when you are on the flat line when your brain is still working, but it's not working, it's not functioning as it was functioning when you were actually breathing, you know? It blocks everything and it only leaves the part of memories to function. So when you die, when you go on the flat line, you lose the sense of time and you are how to put it, trapped in your memories, you know? And without the sense of time, that period in in which you are trapped in your memories can look like an eternity or probably less than an eternity, depending on what you're trying to solve through your memories. People who have regrets and so on would be trapped in the memories where their regrets are keeping them, until they solve them. And people who are not trapped by their regrets are actually trapping themselves in the illusion, in the memories in which they were loved with their family, with their whatever the fuck, in where they felt the greatest moments in life, But all that is just sort of very, I can't even know if I can call it short or long period. It's the transition to another life. It's that point where I told you that you change the sides on the Mobius band,
Yeah.
Then you go and live another life,
But I don't see the point. I imagine that. I think if you have things to do here on this world, you may return here and continue living and maybe fulfilling those desires through lifespans. But once you reach a point in which you have been fulfilled with all the things this world has to offer, I think you're able to move to a higher experience in another dimension. I don't think
that's
this is
what you think.
I don't
it's
think
your
it's
delusion.
Well, this world could be a delusion. It could be a nightmare.
That's what makes you feel good with living. The false hope that you will become something greater, something better, and so on. But you can't be sure of that. It's all in your imagination or in your system of beliefs,
This world could be just our imagination. We are just imagining that we are here and that we're talking to each other, and it is as fleeting as a vision. Why so wrong to aspire to something higher and then a physical body that dies and decays? I don't see nothing wrong with that.
It's not wrong, but without a body, if you don't understand that you need a body and a soul and a spirit, to function entirely, to be that greatest person and so on, then how the heck will you understand other things, In order to experience life, you need a sensorial system, right? So you need a sort of body, whatever that body would be, Otherwise, you can't actually experience anything if you don't.
Although we need a body to experience reality here, it's not necessarily true that we need a body to experience other perspectives. You're too tied to the material realm. When I move through meditations, I don't move with the body. I just move through pure mind and imagination.
You move with your spirit, which is connected to your body. If you wouldn't have a body, you wouldn't have a spirit to move.
I disagree.
In your meditation,
I disagree. I think we can move without a body and just experience reality by mind and imagination. Without the necessity to.
Let's test this idea of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get rid of your body.
Yes.
What do you say?
Then I become.
We will chop your body in pieces, then burn them down so nothing remains out of your body, and you go and meditate and come back and tell us.
I don't think the body is mind. I don't think we are experiencing this reality through the brain and the body. We are much more than this temporary vessel.
If you don't understand that you need a brain to decode the information so that you can imagine or meditate or astral project or anything in there, then I don't know what to say, honestly.
Quantum, where were you before? Yeah. Where were you before being born? Can you tell me?
Where was I?
Yes.
I mean, I have no memory whatsoever, so I wouldn't be able to give any inputs on it. But what I have thought before was that if the universe is eternal, I'm guessing the energy that made up my consciousness just keeps coming back or lives out there in the infinite.
Yeah. Could this universe, this planet, the plants, the animals, could it be an act of yours before an act of your imagination that you had before you were born? Could this world be actually a fiction of your mind? I mean, what do you think? Continue.
I mean, if everything is energy, including consciousness, that means everything could be consciousness too.
Sure.
Got it?
Yes.
So I don't know what would be like a good how do you say it? A counter argument against that. Like, consciousness is energy. Energy is consciousness.
Yes. Consciousness is energy, yet it's also space. It's also time. Time, energy, and space are derivations of consciousness. Consciousness manifests them to create this three-dimensional world. So we are experiencing an aspect of our imagination, like a simulation of our own consciousness.
It's like when you're dreaming.
Yes.
Your conscious, when you're lucid dreaming specifically, your consciousness is like literally manipulating the energy in the lucid world.
Exactly.
Like I want to create a TV in my lucid dream. So I turn on the TV. What's powering on the TV? It's the energy. It's my imagination.
I'm sorry, but you guys are really funny. I mean, you said that consciousness is energy, time, and space, right?
Yes.
Where the fuck is the information?
In you.
Huh?
You are the information. You are the
energy. Energy is information.
Your reality, everything you see, you're decoding.
Yes.
Everything is in your head. It's not like just you're getting the information stream through the five senses and you're decoding it and putting it together.
Yeah,
and so is everybody else. So my reality and your reality could be different. You know what I mean? And we can't fathom that.
You have nothing, not even energy. Because you have to have the notion of energy, time, and space. That is information. So consciousness, basically, it's information.
Yes, consciousness is information.
And that's the basic fact about consciousness, which you just left it aside, You didn't even...
Consciousness is information, and that information is expressed through energy, exactly, through space and time, which manifests this reality.
But is the decoder the user, though? That's the thing. If you look at a computer, it decodes information. And there's a decoder and an interpreter. So we would be the interpreter decoding the information. But then again, in a computer, if you look at a computer, there's also a user controlling that computer. So are we the decoder or are we the user controlling the computer?
I think we are the decoder and the user. Spectrum.
Yes. We have the decoder because the brain is also the decoder and the emitting antenna of information. You also emit information, not only receive and decode. And you're also the user. The next question is, who's the programmer?
Us. We are. We are the programmer.
We are the programmer.
We're also reference-based machines as well. We're only decoding what we're given as well. So what's to say we're not given all the information to decode? Do you know what I mean? It's if you don't have, let's say for a computer, like AI programming, if you don't program that AI with specific references, it will not even see those references or think about them. Same with the person. If you don't feed them a specific reference, they would have no reference point for it. Therefore, they won't decode it. So who's feeding us the information is more of the point here.
We did. And that's why I'm asking the question. Spectrum, now it's your turn. Where were you before you were born? Before you existed in this physical realm?
You know what? The thing I could tell you, what I remember, what I don't know if I remember it or what, but the inkling that I get is like an never-ending roller coaster where there's like different realities that it's not like this one, but it's a different one, and it's each time that it has a beginning and a close, and it's like a scene in a movie. It happens, you're there, and then it closes, and then you go to the next one. It's just a never-ending roller coaster.
When you're dreaming, you can dream other people, animals, and creatures. You are the dreamer. If you become awake that you're the dreamer, then you can control the dream. But those that have been dreaming, they are not aware of themselves. They are just an aspect of your dream, right? Like when you're dreaming, and you're dreaming people, are those people aware?
No, ever had that dream? That reminds me of that dream. I've had it a lot where like you want to tell people, you figure out it's a dream, that you're in a dream, right? But then you want to tell the people in the dream that it's a dream.
Exactly.
And so you start shaking at them, you start yelling at, hey, it's a dream, it's a dream. Like, this is not real. But then when you wake up, you're all like, man, the person I was trying to wake up was myself. That's what I was trying to wake up at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, Quantium, when you're dreaming, are the people that you're dreaming aware that they are the dream, or what do you think?
I mean, from my perspective, I wouldn't know if they're actually aware, but I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to look at it from their perspective. I'm looking at it from mine. So, to me, it would look like they're aware. Like, I'm talking to them, having a conversation, and like interacting with them. So,
you're aware that you're dreaming. Let's say you're awake in the dream. You're aware you're dreaming, but the people in the dream is not aware that he's dreaming. They are not aware that they are dreaming. They are thinking that the dream that you're dreaming is actually real. Right?
So would they be like AI? Basically, they're like created by your own like consciousness, subconsciousness.
Basically, that's what we are. We are dreaming this reality, and the NPCs or the majority of humanity are just NPCs. They are aspects of our dream. They cannot be aware that they are inside a dream, just like they cannot be aware inside your dream that the dream, the little things you're dreaming, are a dream. So that's basically what we are. This is why there is only a few of us that can become conscious that we are in a dream and that we are dreaming. When you're dreaming, this is the same question. Are the people, the animals, the things that are inside your dream aware that they are in a dream?
I will tell you something.
Yes.
So, let's put it like this. When I dream certain people and I dream myself in another reality, right? And me from the other reality, when it's going to sleep, it's dreaming of me and other people like you and Quantum and Alex talking in here, So you tell me, which are the NPCs in this case?
The NPCs are those that cannot become aware that they are God. The NPCs are the ones that are trapped by the dream or the physical aspects of reality. They imagine reality as real.
I will tell you something. Your brain doesn't make sense of the difference between realities too much, It blurs the lines and so on. The dreams that you are dreaming at night may as well be other realities.
They are, yes.
The people in your reality may as well dream of you and think of you that you're the NPC, and so on. I wouldn't actually start to divide people in NPCs and so on, because everything around us, help us to experience life or death.
Well, just like in a dream. In a dream, you dream animals, plants, people. They help you within the dream to realize a reality.
They help you in real life too. Your real life is still a dream.
It is, yes.
Maybe your real life may be the dream of another you in another life.
Yes.
You know what's funny about dreams?
The question, just let me one minute to finish. To the question where I was before coming into this life, I was in another life, coding my life that I have now, scripting it, okay, programming it. That's what I was doing in another life. And what am I doing in this life? I'm coding the next life I will jump in. I'm gathering all the information that I need. I'm using my imagination to make a pilot episode for the next life I will jump in.
And that's what I'm doing. And that's what I've been trying to tell you. Just like you can choose what outcome your next life will be, I can choose my outcome too. I can choose to escape a universe and jump into another one or create my own. There is absolutely no reason why I cannot do that. Just like you can do what you can do. So your reality is what you wish it to be, and the dream you want to follow, just as mine. So you see,
what happens if I want to actually trap you and don't let you escape your universe? What happens?
You will be able to trap an aspect or how can I say, a secondary me. The me that exists in your imagination will be trapped within that world. Just as I can trap you, or I can take you to another universe, and you will be there if I choose it to. There is.
You realize how many universes are there?
Well, there are infinite universes.
As many realities as many dreams are,
There are infinite universes. Yes, Quentin?
I think there is a universe, but it's just infinite. It's like, it's not that there's infinite universes. It's that the whole universe is infinite.
Yes.
And and all these realities are just regions and all this infinite space and time. That's how I view it.
So, for example, I'm imagining quantum, I'm imagining Weiwu, but so Weiwu and quantum are imagining me. We are imagining each other, you see? And I could take all of you into my own universe, outside this universe, and yet you can also create your own universe, or you can create a scripted life within this world too. There's nothing impossible, because we are infinite beings.
I don't want to take you guys in my other universes. No. One universe is enough to have you.
Spectrum.
I'm joking.
What do you think of all this we are saying?
Who?
Spectrum?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that no space is wasted. We're not able to decode all the realities even here, because I mean, for example, the shamans, they talk about how there's a plant kingdom and they're able to talk to plants. There's a rock kingdom, mineral kingdom, animal kingdom, all kinds of kingdoms here that we're just not able to see, and they have their own reality. What's to say that our own cells don't have their own reality? Perhaps everything that we're made up of is intertwined with consciousness, and that's just a way of, like, the reality. There's multiple realities in a sense. Consciousness is on every level of it.
Yes, I agree. A dog has its own reality. A flower has its own dimension and reality, which experience reality in a certain way, just like a dog or like an owl or like a tree. Like trees, did you know that can communicate with each other in the forest, like nerves? I didn't know that. I read that somewhere. But the tree experience reality in their own way, and yet the worm also does. Each one, billions of organisms all experiencing their own ways of being and existence. And here we are.
So what?
Yeah, and it's like we're on top of a giant too, where our own system, our own body too has, maybe our organs have their own reality and everything inside of us, and our microbes, and it's just all these realities, and then we're like on top of it, and we're just like, wait a second, we don't realize that there's so much life even within us, and so many realities as well.
Well, we have, like you say, we have all kinds of organisms. We have all kinds of parasites inside ourselves. They for them we are their little world, you know. And when we die, they die, and therefore, and there also other organisms come in and eat us, and they themselves have their own reality. We will. What were you gonna say?
I was asking again. So, what is death, and why is death necessary?
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to figure out. My entire life is about death. Since I'm going to die, I mean, you guys realize that the most time you will spend in your totality is in death. The moment you're born to the moment you die is just a moment, and yet death is an eternal thing. So the most important thing to understand is death, not life. And yet through life,
but that's because we don't have the point of view, though. That's the thing. We think it's like the worst thing that could ever happen, but yet that's a presupposition. Like, we don't know what is beyond that.
mm-hmm.
Who's to say it's not better? You know what I mean? Who's to say it's just one energy, converting onto another? Like everything here, that's what it is. It's like, something goes in the dirt and it becomes food for something else, but that's just one energy becoming another.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a plant or a tree or whatever. But it's all energy conversion. Did you really die? If you become a tree,
I think the word death is misrepresented. I think when people think of death, is actually like nothingness. Nothing will exist anymore. Like no one will come back. But I think what people call death is just like what I think Wei-Wu was saying, like transformation and all that. Like everything's transforming, like changing. Nothing. Energy can't be destroyed. It just changes. So it changes form over time. Everything does.
I think there's just a cycle, a time in matter where we are here to learn. If you're able to learn and understand what is, how to work in a different reality, then you can experience that reality after that. If you limit your mind and yourself to this world, to this physical reality only, then the next world will be this world, because that's all you can master. So life is an education to see if you can meet into higher dimensions of existence, or it means that you must remain in this world, basic world of birth, reproduction, and death. Like J.K. Rowling say, I like the quote: "To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure." Right, Wu?
What?
So is this life, whatever you become in this life, you will transfer into the next life, right? Wu?
Depends. I mean, depends of many factors, It depends on how will you leave behind this life. I told you, if you have regrets or you have unsolved things, you will try to, let's say, come back to this life or recreate the circumstances from this life in another life, just to solve the problems that you had in this life. You will recreate everything and solve it and then move to something else.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on many factors. If you are, how to put it, at peace in leaving everything behind, you can just jump to a reality which is totally different from this one,
That's what I've been telling you.
The rivers are yellow and the skies are green and whatever the fuck, you imagine. Can be that. I mean, everything is mental,
That's what I've been telling you for a long time, that once this reality has been fulfilled into you, you have finally satisfied with all the experiences that a flesh and body provides, and then you're ready to move forward to a different perspective.
Yeah, man, but this thing was told by thousands of years before, even when in the myths of Egyptians with Mat and Anubis and waging the heart and against the feather. It's all about that. How you will leave this life behind.
But that's what I was going to tell you. You said it's all mental. I was going to disagree with you because I was going to say it's also emotional. Let's not forget that people have emotions. And what are emotions? Like you just said it. You just said that they weigh your heart. Why would they do that? But let me.
Ultimately, even your emotions are decoded by your brain. I mean.
Okay, but why would they weigh the heart then? What do you think that's symbolic for? The heart is symbolic for emotions. That's why they weigh it. So that right there is telling you, it's telling you, hey, it depends what emotional energy you cultivate. Wait, what's going on? What is that? Hello?
No. Yeah.
I think that's something.
It's from your place. It's
not me.
What did the heart mean for Egyptians?
Well, that's a cultivation. It's if you were, it depends what energy, because look, the heart is an energy center. You have energy centers which are called chakras. That's the whole point of the chakras, that we have energy centers within us, and it all depends on unlocking these energy centers and using that energy. Yes, the heart is. Listen to me. The heart. What do you think emotion is? It emotion? Okay, answer me one question. Is emotion energy or not?
I will answer you something else.
No. Answer me that question. Answer me that question. Is it emotional or is it energy or not?
Listen to me. Stop it because I started this. The heart was regarded in ancient Egypt as the seat of intelligence. Understand this?
Okay, I know that.
You can march on your emotions, but as I told you, all emotions are still decoded by your brain. You need your brain to even understand emotions. You understand?
I disagree.
You can disagree.
I disagree because there are times when I think, man, I should have liked this thing, but yet my heart likes it.
Yeah, your heart likes it. Okay.
Yes, so that means it has a different. It's a different thing.
Understand that your heart likes it, because if you would be headless,
I think you're hung up on this. You're not looking. You're looking at the very surface of things. You're not looking deeper into the situation. If you look at the symbology of the Egyptians, it tells you all you need to know. Why would they weigh the heart?
I told you why. Because for them it was the seat of intelligence.
That's not it. It's been proven. It's been proven.
Okay.
No. That's not it. It's been proven. Of course, it's been proven that the heart has neurons. No, the thing is, what I'm telling you is that you don't know the secrets. They have an occult version of their whatever they have. You've just been told things on books, on like textbooks. They usually don't have the secrets of what it actually means.
From where, man?
The symbology. What do you think metaphors are? Symbology. It's like you were telling me about this Chinese book that you're all into, and it talks about duality, and yet I talk about duality, and you completely write it off. Why is that?
Man, you have to understand.
Man, what?
That you need both brain and heart.
That's what I've been trying to tell you. That's literally what I've been trying to tell you. I've been trying to say it's a duality. Brain and heart are a duality, and the brain,
you're
the heart.
On your emotions, and I tell you that you need the brain to make sense of those emotions.
I literally just said that. I literally just said that there's a duality. No, I literally said it's a duality. You need both. You said everything's mental, and I said I disagree. I think you also need the power, which comes from the emotions.
Well, you disagree with all the occult things, symbols, and whatever the fact, you know?
I don't. You're disagreeing with them. I'm looking deeper into them.
Because the essence of occult knowledge is that everything is mental. Okay?
That's not the essence. That's not the essence. The essence, there's also the heart, which is, I'm telling you, is a power center. If you don't have the heart, you don't have anything.
Don't be so sure.
I am sure.
Cool.
You don't have a heart.
What noise is that?
You become like the Wizard of Oz, like the Tin Man doesn't have a heart. That's
Yeah,
not
I'm
the
a
way to
Tin
be.
Man.
It even tells you that's an occult. That's an occult story, by the way. The Wizard of Oz.
By the way,
It tells you right there.
Cool. Understanding that actually means to understand life. Unless you understand that, you cannot understand life. And I don't mean this life, but to understand the afterlife, meaning that, meaning is to understand eternity or everlasting life. Could that be reasonable?
Yeah, I think so, because it's a duality.
Yeah.
You understand the negative version, or not the negative, but one side of the coin, you could sort of extrapolate the other.
Correct. This is why it's important that this is why society or the elite attempt to hide or keep away most of the masses from Satan or from the devil, from the darkness. Because if they understand the devil as much as they understand God, then they can conclude the entrapment of this reality, the matrix, the duality. So you have to think outside the duality, outside life and death, outside light and darkness, outside God and the devil. To understand both is to understand freedom. So to understand death is to understand life. Yes?
Lucifer.
Yes.
I got a question. What is even death if everything is always eternal? All the possibilities are always happening and forever will. So what would death be in that situation? Like, how would that even? What is death in that sense?
I think in that sense will be an experience. You know, we are just experiencing this for a purpose that perhaps we may understand after diet. What do you think? We will? Spectrum?
I think that I'm sort of hung up on what you said about Lucifer right now. We have to understand that the good and the bad comes from the source. And that source dispenses wrath as well as mercy. And it has agents. He has agents, right? It's like a hierarchy. So literally when you say Lucifer, to me, all I hear is judgment. Like you're going to be judged.
Mm.
So whether you're going to be judged with wrath, that's who dispenses the wrath. So I don't know. That's why people are afraid of Lucifer. That's why the negative connotation, because they don't like to be in front of a judge.
Well,
they don't want to be judged harshly.
The fear of the devil, just as the belief and worship of God, is just a programming of the current.
That's not the same, though. The devil works for God. That's what you don't understand.
Well, yes, no.
The God is not the devil is not opposite to God. That's not how it works. Because what's opposite to Lucifer is an angel. So is Gabriel. Gabriel is his power. They're probably both as strong. Those are the opposites right there.
I agree to a degree.
Or maybe, I don't know if Gabriel's stronger, but in the mythology, right? But God's above both of them because God is above duality.
I disagree. I agree and disagree.
Literally, Lucifer is a guy with a job. If God wanted Lucifer gone, he would have him gone in a second. But he has a job. Do you see? You cannot go against the most powerful being on earth, on the whole universe. It's like, who is going to go in front of what is it? The source. It's like a singularity. You cannot go against the singularity because it encompasses everything. That's where everything comes from. I don't know what God you're talking about, but the God that I'm talking about is literally the all, the singularity that encompasses the good and the bad.
I agree
above duality.
There's aspects I agree and aspects I disagree. The devil works for God and God works for the devil. Both are aspects of the same coin. both are equal.
No, I think it's above it, man. There's no way God is not. God is above duality. That's the whole point of what a god, even in Egypt, the demigods were, some of them were above duality. But the God, the supreme being, is above everything, or else it wouldn't be God.
I disagree with that. I don't think there's a supreme being outside yourself.
Well, that's my definition of God, is something, the supreme being above duality, that is on top of the pyramid, above both sides.
And that being is us, that being is us. That's why I say God and the devil work together. They are one same individual. And unless you understand both, you cannot transcend. I don't believe in
Have you seen that symbolism of the devil on your shoulder?
Yeah.
And on your left shoulder, and the symbolism of an angel on your right shoulder. That's your conscience, right?
Yes.
You could either go left or right, but you have a head which is above both your shoulders. So God will be the head in this situation. Meaning it's a combination of both of them.
Why do you guys complicate things? They are simple. If God is everything, God is the devil too.
Exactly.
And that's it.
It's a guy with a job. It's an aspect of an aspect. It's not, the God is above everything. That in my definition.
And I disagree with that.
They're not equal. They're not the same. It's like if God wanted a God, it would be God. That's the whole point.
I agree to a degree.
God creates with His word.
I agree and disagree with you.
He literally creates with His word.
Where I disagree is that God and the devil are equal. One is not more than the other. Just as light and darkness are not superior to the other, but they are complement to each other. They are equal. That's my perspective, but you have a right to yours, and it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But when you go into your room and you turn on the light switch, it turns light, doesn't it? Because light overtakes darkness the whole time.
Without darkness, light cannot be. Without.
I think. Well, we're here because we are the contrast. You said what is the contrast to this? We are the contrast. The light. If everything was light, then everything would be perfect. But like a television has dark levels and it has a backlight. You need both, or else to make up a picture.
Unless you have darkness, you cannot have light. If you always were in the light, you will not be aware that you are in the light, and therefore you will not understand light. But it is because there is darkness that you understand the contrast of light. You see? Unless you understand
there can't be anything without duality. There cannot be anything without duality. That's a fact. There cannot be anything without it. You need dark and light to create a picture on your television. This is the same situation.
I agree. And therefore, God and the devil are equal and necessary, and yet both need to be transcended.
See, I don't believe in the equal part. I think that there's a trinity here. You're talking about two sides of a pyramid. I'm talking about the actual top of it. My God is the top of the both duality. It's above duality. It's not part of duality.
Quantum.
So there's my perspective.
Your God is only the top, right? My God is everything, and it's me. Okay.
No, but it's literally the top, but it's also part of its creation, meaning it's the top part and it's the duality. In the Bible, God is the Word. What does that mean? God is He was the Word
in the Bible,
within the Word, in the very first beginning of it. That's what it says. Did I trigger you? What did I say? The Bible? Did I give you Sunday school freaking vibes? Did somebody abuse you? Jesus Christ.
Doesn't God also say that turn a rock and I will be there? I'm everywhere.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm saying. That's literally what I'm saying. What are we talking about here? I'm saying that first there was the beginning, there was the Word. And He was the Word, and it was within the Word. Meaning He's within His creation. He literally tells you that.
You have the Word. Go on. God, go on.
Do you know what the Word is? Do you know what the Word is? We're in the Word. This whole reality is part of the Word. It's a field of energy.
You can understand that people have different opinions in here. At least
I'm telling you my opinion. Whatever. You could disagree or agree.
Opinions too. Okay?
I do. I'm not telling you don't have your opinion. Have it if you want. I'm telling you mine.
Is that okay or what? You want me to stay quiet?
Okay, but when we explain our opinions too, don't start to just walk over our opinions because you know better how our opinions should be. Stop doing that.
I'm telling you how my opinion is, and I know where I've gotten spiritually. I don't know where you've gotten. I don't know what you could do. I know what I could do. We'll keep it that way.
To be honest, I totally don't give a fuck about God.
Exactly, because you probably were molested by some freaking priest or something. You have all this baggage. You're like everybody else.
Yeah, sure, you know better.
Okay, of course. That's not what always happens.
I didn't even
some little baggage or something. What baggage do you have? Did somebody spit on you in Sunday school? What happened?
Spectrum.
I'm not into religion. I don't need a God. You understand this? To live.
I don't have a God.
Without thinking of a God.
Yeah, that's what.
But yet you understand. But yet you want your Chinese book that was talking about the same thing. Go listen to that.
Chinese.
Well, that's what you told me last time. You literally wrote off everything I said and resaid it in different words because your Chinese book said it. You go ahead and believe that.
I believe this shit.
Quantum
Chinese. I'm not Confucius. For fuck's sake.
Quantum, what do you think of all this? Is
what question?
Duality, is God and the devil equal? And therefore we must transcend both?
I mean, all I believe is that the universe is the way it is, and I believe it's infinite.
Mm-hmm.
And that if there's a God or deity, I don't know about that.
Well, there is no God. God does not exist, but that requires a lot of insight, and development. And
I mean, if you're saying there's a devil and all that, then it's just the universe is just infinite. It's all possibilities happening, and we're just one of those possibilities.
Yeah, the devil doesn't exist. It's just a metaphor for darkness, just as God does not exist. So, but to people,
no, I disagree 100%. It requires insight to actually know that it does exist.
I mean, it's fine. That's what you're
like completely. That's where you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think rules this world? Look at the people who rule this world, for God's sake. What do they believe in? First, start off there.
Who rules this world? Ignorance.
Who does? Who are the powers that be? Who does everybody blame that? Oh, the Jews did this, the Jews did that. You think? What do they believe in?
Humanity administers the planet.
Okay, then. It's like, that's all you need to know.
Well,
Look at the people at the top. Maybe they know something you don't. Ever thought of that?
Humanity administers this world, and yet they administer it through ignorance.
Oh, God.
There is nothing supernatural behind them, controlling them or moving the strings, There is different degrees of intelligence among humanity. And those that are more intelligent...
So you think because they're more intelligent?
Who
controls this world? Just look at who controls this world. The NWO, who are the Masons? What do they believe in?
There is actually no one that controls the world. Different groups with different agendas.
Just go to the Capitol. Look at all the Masonic symbols and tell me that they don't control things. Okay, look at the dollar and tell me.
Like I said, there is different groups with different agendas.
Okay.
And who controls the world?
First off, we have to look at how much power these groups have, and you have to extrapolate. Okay, what do they believe in?
Spectrum, like I say, I don't agree with that. I think you think it is some occult high group of Illuminati that control everything. That doesn't work like that. There are different...
No, I think that there are groups in this world that do control things that have a lot of power in the shadows that people don't know about.
That's what
they believe certain things that are occult. Tell me, how is it not true?
That's what I'm saying. There is groups of people that are more intelligent than the normie population.
Because they're intelligent. I don't buy that. Just because they're intelligent. No, that's not how it works. Then why do scientists control the world then, if they're intelligent?
What if those people actually don't believe in occult things? They just created the occult.
That's a supposition, dude. They totally do.
Are you going to let me finish?
Well, go ahead, but it's like, oh, if the the freaking bunny is white, how about if it's red? It's like, okay.
You know better than me what I wanted to say, so say it, okay? Go on. I'm done with this.
All right, be done with it. Tell me some more nonsense.
Okay.
Well,
You want to hear the nonsense? Goodbye.
Goodbye then.
well, let's finish the show. It's almost an hour. Let's answer one last question. How would you like to be remembered? Whatever you do in this world is an eternal print that you will leave. How would you like to be remembered for eternity? Quantum?
I'm not even sure how to answer that, to be honest.
You are the outcome of your ideas, your thoughts, your ways, and yet you can shape them, right?
I mean, if my ideas helped anyone out, that would be something I'd be like to remember by, like.
What would you
like any ideas? Huh?
So you want to be remembered by ideas?
Yeah, like if they helped them out in like whatever they're researching or like looking up, like from like a philosophical standpoint, like ideas like that. Yeah.
How about you, Spectrum?
Yeah, I go back to Winnie the Pooh, and it talks about how people don't remember you. People remember you by how you made them feel last. So hopefully I make people feel better than I did Wei Wu, because he's pissed at me. But yeah, people remember you if you were cool to them, and hopefully I'm cool to people. So that's what I strive for, to be cool with everybody.
All right. Yeah, whatever we do now will have a footprint for eternity. So it is for this reason that life has to be lived in awareness of mortality, of our own mortality and our own death. And so anyway, thank you guys, Wiwu and Quantum and Spectrum, for being here with me this evening. And to everybody else, I'll see you next time on the next show. So goodbye for now.
Later. Pleasure being here.
Later.
All right, bye.
Thank you.